Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams, and don't forget, of course, this program being heard and seen around the world on our live in-studio camera. That's available to you at talk973.com. That's talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located, and just click that once. That'll get you there. If you're on your mobile device, your YouTube app will do the work for you. Just put Mornings with the Leader Man in there. Look for the one that says Live Now and your results. And if you're on your mobile device just needing our crystal clear digital stream, that's available to you 24/7, 365. You can get that with apps like TuneIn, iTunes, Streamer. Other apps will work. iHeartRadio does not. They only put the stations that they own up there. So other apps will, though. Put WEEB into the search, and if you're on our website, of course, find that icon in the upper right-hand corner of any of our pages at talk973.com. Click it once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area. Man, summer's embedded here, it seems like. It's all going to come to an end tomorrow afternoon. Mostly sunny today with a high of 81. Then tonight, mostly clear. Look for a low of 62. For Friday, partly cloudy. Still going to be very unseasonably warm for this time of year, but we're at least going in the right direction. We'll reach a high of 70 with temperatures diving throughout the afternoon and into the evening as we go for an overnight low of 34. So you may go to dinner and it's kind of warm. You come out of dinner and you're freezing and you don't have a coat, so be warned. Saturday and Sunday more seasonable, partly cloudy Saturday, high of 49. So it is the middle of winter, folks. So 49 is a pretty good temperature for this time of year. Partly cloudy Saturday night, 28 for your low. There goes the water hose again. Sunday, partly cloudy, high of 51. Then rain moves in for Monday. Mostly cloudy, rain likely. 60% chance of rain, high of 58. Monday night, more rain, a low of 42. Tuesday, 50-50 shine of scattered showers, high of 61. Wednesday, partly cloudy, 20% chance of showers, high of 61. Right now, around the Sandhills, winds are southwest at 9, visibility wide open at 10 statute miles, humidity maxed at 100%, dew point 61, pressure is 3009, it's clear. And double check the temperature, yes, still 61 degrees. Here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 7:29, 29 past the hour. You know that Tidy Up with Marie Kondo, that's popular on, what is it, Netflix, or I think it is. Anyway, she helps you organize your home. Well, wait till you see this new show, which has a much, well, let's just say, different approach to things.
Everyone is obsessed with the Japanese organizing consultant Marie Kondo and the KonMari method of tidying their homes. But now, there's a new show with even easier ways to quickly organize and declutter your home. Introducing Gus Bridges, an unemployed lifelong bachelor who will take you through his easy steps to clean up fast, like doing laundry.
Take your underwear out of the dryer and then just throw it in a drawer. Nobody's looking.
Cleaning the bathroom.
Brush and flush. Done.
Disposing of things you don't need anymore.
Take a cardboard box, write free stuff on it, put all your junk in it, and go put it outside a house on the corner.
And cleaning the kitchen.
Find yourself a girlfriend. After a week or so, invite her over. They always do the dishes.
Cleaning Up with Gus. Now streaming on Hulu.
Today's show is brought to you by Throwback Thursdays. Hey, remember the Macarena? Well, I'd like to forget it.
All right, 7:31 Thursday morning. Let's see. All right, we're going to hold that for a while, then get back to it. All right, let's get to our stupid news this morning. 310, let's see, let me make sure it's not part of my... Yep, it's good to go. All right, 3 teenagers tried to rob a bank in Oklahoma City yesterday, but got caught because the Uber dropped them off. Then they tried to use Uber to get away. The first Uber driver called the cops. The second Uber driver got there right after the cops.
Yeah, they called me for a getaway car. So I turned the corner and come up on Mid-First Bank, and all I see is cop cars. I'm like, this is not normal. I see cops running towards the back of the building. There was like 3 or 4 of them in handcuffs, putting them in cop cars. Well, I said, did somebody rob a bank? He says, well, attempted. If you're going to do something like that, have your own car. I just count myself lucky because if the cops not got there before me, it could have turned out completely different.
Yeah, well, you should have asked the cops, hey, can I at least take them to the jail so I can get paid here? So it wasn't a worthless trip. Meanwhile, KFC's holding a contest for Valentine's Day where you can win a fake bearskin rug that looks like Colonel Sanders. Here's Mike Myers as the dad and So I Married an Axe Murderer explaining why he always hated the Colonel.
Oh, I hated the Colonel with his wee beady eyes and that smug look on his face. Oh, you're gonna buy my chicken. Oh!
I met the Colonel. I had the privilege of meeting him. I was a long time ago, back when I was in college and working as the photographer for the News and Observer. I got sent out to take his picture at the Duke Children's Classic. And, it was a kind of a reception for all the stars that were playing in the tournament, or in his case, being associated with it. I don't think he played golf at the time. It was in his latter years, but boy, did he hate KFC. He had nothing good to say about them. He feels like they kind of ruined his vision for everything. They bought him out, and he was under contract to play his part, which he did. But off the record, he did not like them, and the corporation that took him over. But as far as him personally, he was a gentleman, nice and pleasant to be around. Even in his criticism of KFC, he wasn't ugly about him. He was polite. He just didn't think that they presented his franchise in the way he wanted it done. But, when you buy the company, well, that gives you kind of the right to make changes because you got to make it profitable. And he got what he wanted. He cashed out, basically. They still needed his image. They still use the image today. But they had to upgrade because any company has to stay upgraded and with the times and keep moving forward in order to keep their market share. So it's all in that. Let's see. Super Bowl. Family, this is crazy. A family of a guy in New Orleans got creative with his obituary. He died on Sunday at 1 p.m., and they wrote that he was determined not to watch Super Bowl 53. His name was Henry Jaume, I guess J-A-U-M-E, Jaume. Anyway, he was a 65-year-old veteran and former law enforcement officer.
A Saints fan who continues to throw shade at the infamous no call, even in his passing. Henry Jaume Sr. passed away this past Super Bowl Sunday at the age of 65. And in his obituary, published in The Advocate online, it reads, quote, Jaume passed away at 1 p.m., determined not to watch the Super Bowl.
Okay, well, he got his wish. A lot of people didn't watch. He didn't miss anything. Boring ball game. Bunch of boring commercials. I mean, really, were these commercials up to the genius level of many past commercials? Or were they just, I don't know, There were several commercials in there where you didn't really know what they were advertising to the very end, and they flash it up there. And you go, all that for the word Sprint? No, Verizon did that. Verizon did it. They did these little feel-good commercials without any implication of Verizon in it. And then at the end, they show their logo. And if you go with Verizon, you need to have your brain checked. They are nothing but thieves in that we used them as a backup. And when we were doing the ball games and we did football, baseball, basketball for many years. And first Verizon was the primary, and finally got a belly full of them. They became the backup because we sent actually 3 signals back to the station from every ball game. So if one had an issue, we could bell to another with little or no interruption. And plus videos. That's 4 signals coming back here. And anyway, but the computer that was handling the Verizon would, every time, of course, when the signal interrupts, it resets the timer on it. And out of about, I'd say, at least 300 ball games that we did with Verizon, there wasn't one single ball game that they didn't interrupt. In other words, you're using the bandwidth that you bought and paid for and expected to use it without interference. And you pay for the highest package so that you get full bandwidth and no throttling. And they don't live up to their side of the contract because every single game without exception was interrupted. I called and screamed at them until my battery went dead on my phone. Many times. Until it just gave up. It's just it made me feel better yelling at them. But didn't get anything accomplished. One time I got up into the engineering, and we got a little accomplished. Sometimes you got to really bear down on these people to get bumped up. Just say, give me a supervisor. Give me a supervisor. Sometimes you just get another person in the room, but sometimes you actually get a supervisor that can make a decision. And that's true with all these clowns with massive call centers that you wait forever to get on hold to get a hold of. But with Verizon, like I said, every game gets interrupted. And so it has to reestablish the connection and go again. With AT&T, out of all the big ball games I didn't get one single interruption. Now, there were a couple of times we were in areas, a lot of times the high schools are built out in the boonies a little bit because it takes a lot of land for a high school, 18, 20 acres. And they may not have the infrastructure of the cell service in that area. They got some, but do they have all the high technology? Because not every cell tower has all the same technology on it. Some of them may only have telephone technology. And we do run a signal on the telephone line. We also run a signal on the broadband line. And some of them don't have broadband. Or they'll take that broadband if you're at a high school game, you get all these kids in the stands, and guess what they're doing? Crawling on that telephone. They can't help themselves. It's like a hungry man with food in front of them. They just got to be fed every second with that telephone. So they're eating up bandwidth. And that's when they'll steal your broadband bandwidth and shove it over to the telephone bandwidth area, which is not as big as the broadband. If you look at it as a football field, if your broadband's the whole length of the football field, your telephone's taken up from the 40-yard line to the 40-yard line, right there in the middle. And it's not as big a bandwidth, thus not as good as a fidelity, because it can't handle the full broadband width. I hope I'm not boring everybody. But anyway, long story short, AT&T haven't had an issue with them. They've always worked. And Verizon, man, they don't care. They'll beat you off in a heartbeat and not blink twice about it. And that's what irritates you. Are you finding that with other things too, like your home cable. You know, you got plenty of download speed, but these companies like Netflix not too bad for it, but yeah, they are. Netflix, all of them. They all, you know, want to tap you electronically on the shoulder and say, "Are you still there? Are you still there?" Okay, you're not there. We're going to cut it off because it saves us some royalty fees. It seems as though to me that you pay for something to come out of that TV. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what you pay for. Now, as long as you're willing to punch back, yeah, I'm here, it won't interrupt you anymore for another 2 hours. Or maybe just an hour. Depends on the length of the program. And you want to, you know, you would like to just it to keep continuing down and playing a series. Now, I go to sleep with the TV on. And I like for the TV just to stay on. Because I get a better night's sleep, it seems like that way. I get more REM sleep. But you know, it's asking me, "Are you still there? Are you still there?" And I wake up to nothing on. And it's the silence that wakes me back up. And I don't know why they got to work so hard to kick you off for what you pay for. I don't get it. All you manage to do is tick off a customer every single day. I just don't see that in the business plan. They're saying, "Well, it's saving us royalties. You know, we lowered our costs, but did you give me a break in that cost? Did you? No, you didn't, did you? You stuffed it in your pocket. You know, so give me what I pay for, and that's the channel coming out every second I got that TV on. And don't be reaching back to me and saying, 'Are you there?' I got satellite here in the station TV. Does the same thing. Nowhere in my package did it say blank channel or screensaver. Nowhere in the contract does it say it. And it was the time there when you cut it on, it stayed on. But now if you don't hit the remote at least once every 3 hours, then it goes into screensaver mode. And you got nothing on your TV. Again, they've booted you off. And my receiver's not tied to the internet in any way, so they don't know whether I'm there or not. It's programmed into the receiver that way. So they're not saving anything royalty-wise on me, but they cut my TV off anyway. Just to tick me off. What other reason does it do to serve that? You know, I called them up. I said, "Take it out. It's not in your package. I didn't ask for it. Take it out." "Oh, we can't do that." I said, "Sure you can. You get your ones and zeros guys. You come up with a program and put it in my machine. It doesn't have the go to sleep button in it." "Well, you can't do that, sir." "Well, you could if you wanted to, if you wanted to treat your customers. Let's see. According to the contract, there's nowhere in that contract does it say we can throw a screensaver on your screen. Moving on. A fisherman was cutting up his catch off the coast of Canada on Sunday when a bald eagle perched next to him and tried to steal some fish. It was pretty persistent and eventually grabbed a piece, but the fisherman laughed it off and even started petting the eagle. There were two other eagles in the background, too. Now, if you talk to fish and wildlife experts, they will tell you that don't be petting wildlife. It will ultimately get them killed. Either the wildlife people will end up having to kill them, or they'll get, or people will hurt them. You want them afraid of people. And they need to hunt in the wild and do their hunting. And feeding them to get them closer to your house just ends up getting them killed. Because then they'll go pester somebody else's house, particularly bears, guess what? Wildlife shows up and kills them. So if you want the bear to live, you truly care about it, leave it alone, don't feed it. Anyway, here's the fisherman.
What's he want, your fish, man? That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. What's going on with this guy? Hey! All right.
I mean, we're all guilty of it, but they're such majestic birds. It's best to leave them alone. And I don't know, I don't think it would necessarily hurt them to throw a piece up at them, but it's not doing them any good. Because I've cleaned fish out on the pier before, and the seagulls see you doing it, and they all are just flapping right above you. Or if you've ever been out fishing off the back of a boat, off the coast, the gulls will follow you when you're cleaning fish, and they're looking for you to toss some food. Let's see. Good news story this morning. Make you feel good. A man in Minnesota was taking out the garbage last Monday when his 4-year-old black lab led him to the other side of the neighbor's house, where his 87-year-old neighbor was lying in the snow. She had fallen and been lying there for 30 minutes in the extreme cold. Thus, the dog saved her life.
Well, she just had her ears kind of perked up and looking at me like, like she just don't normally do that. So I knew it's just sometimes you just get that feeling something's up. We've been very proud of her because, it's not every dog that, pays attention to things like this. And she got so many treats, it was a shame.
Well, they can sense when something's wrong, and he did what he knew to do, and that was to go get his best friend and show it to him. And it saved the lady's life. Former White House Press Secretary John Spencer was a guest on Blaze TV post-State of the Union coverage and was slurring his speech like he had a few drinks. You be the judge.
True story. I'm walking through the airport. I'm coming back from
Charleston. You come back from DCA.
From DCA, but we were in. It was 7 below in Ohio. Came back to DCA, did a show, and I'm coming back, and I'm like, bowling. I hear bowling down the hallway.
Yeah.
Spike, where were you? You were in a
I had a client meeting, and I was yelling at you, and you barely recognized me. And you were like,
no, you were behind a rope. I'm like, what, Spice, you like a velvet rope?
Yeah, velvet. I need velvet. I love velvet. It feels good. I was calling you. Look, I'm having fun, dude.
Feel free.
Look that's good. I never knew that Target had good clothes like that.
All right.
Where was it? Where I don't know where they were. They're obviously outdoors somewhere. Now, if your mouth is real cold, your lips are frozen, you can talk like that. It's hard to talk because your lips are so tight. I don't know. You have to be the judge on that one. Rob Gronkowski, the receiver for the New England Patriots. He was on Fallon last night talking about how he took a full can of beer to the face during the Patriots victory parade.
That parade is hands down the best party. It's the best experience anyone can go through.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going on the duck boats. We had 1.5 million fans show up into the city of Boston. I mean, Patriot Nation always represented. At one time, we had there was like 5, those nipple shots. There were like 5 of them were thrown at one time, and then there was like 5 beers coming at one time, and everyone on the duck boats juking them. We're getting good practice in for next season, Yeah, exactly. And then next thing you know, I moved back a little. I just chilling, looking, and poof, pop. You see that?
Yeah, you got cut?
Full beer can right to the face.
Look at this. Turn that camera there. Can you zoom?
I was bleeding all over on the parade, on the duck boat. Then my dad, he's blocking all the next shots. You can see him. He's karate kicking a beer flying at me.
Dude, karate kicking a beer is pretty legendary.
Yes,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, Rob Gronkowski. On Conan last night, Tracy Morgan, wasn't he the guy that was in the bad car accident and lucky to be alive? And Went and got married to a girl 18 years younger than him. And has all his life fooled people into think he's a comedian. Anyway, he talked about the disadvantages of being married to a girl that young.
Being married to a young girl like that, it puts you at a disadvantage.
She's much younger than you?
Yeah, she's 18. My wife is 18 years younger than me.
Oh.
So it puts you at a disadvantage in the relationship. When you have a beautiful woman like that, it puts you at a disadvantage because you're not going nowhere. You're never going to leave. I told my wife the other day, let me tell you something. You keep treating me the way you treat me, one day you're going to wake up and I'm going to be sitting right there. I ain't going to...
Falling on the floor, laughing here. Brett Baer, I can't believe he did this. Brett, of course, does the 6 o'clock program on Fox News. He was driving with his family in Montana. You've heard about this at the beginning of the year and got into a serious car accident. Well, what you can't believe is he was on Colbert last night, or Colbert. You know, Stephen Colbert, born that way, changed his name to Colbert, to be all snooty and above and better than all of us, because it's Colbert. Anyway, he talked to Colbert last night about his injuries. He gave credit to everyone who helped and explained why his 8-year-old son didn't mind losing a tooth in this thing.
We're coming back from a ski trip, slipped through an intersection, got hit by a pickup truck, turned and flipped, and...
So you and your family, you weren't the kids?
2 kids and my wife, airbags go off, windshield breaks, Good Samaritan stops, gets us out of the passenger side.
Pulls you out.
First responders were unbelievable. Montana Highway Patrol, EMS. We got away with a concussion, sprained ankle, 14 stitches on a chin, and my 8-year-old lost a tooth, but he's a hockey player, so he really likes that. He looks like Ovechkin.
Yeah.
Everybody's okay. We are very blessed, thank God. Please wear your seatbelts.
Sure.
And thanks to the first responders.
Yeah.
Well, at least Colbert went over there trying to be funny about it. Fuller House, which is on Netflix and not highly ranked, it's not worth watching. From episode 1 to on, it's just worthless. But and I think they're having a what am I trying to say? They're trying to make the decision whether to kill it off on Netflix. But Bob Saget was on E! Promoting the America's Funniest Home Videos spinoff, Videos After Dark, and he was asked about Fuller House ending, and he said he thinks a fan rebellion might keep it on the air.
You're such a busy guy, but you are kind of wrapping up other stuff. You're wrapping up Fuller House. Where do you
Yeah,
watch
actually, we're going to start shooting those.
The last
season, but who knows if it's the last season? I don't know.
Really?
Fans are rebelling. I don't know.
They will rebel.
They do.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think any fans are old enough to write. Let's see what else we got this morning. Late night boys, let's see if they can make us laugh. Fallon first in the hot seat, talking about Trump's State of the Union.
I read that Trump's speech was the 3rd longest ever at 82 minutes. Wow. It was so long even Barack Obama was like, this guy's got to speed things up.
Now it's actually funny, because Barack does have a way he's talking all the time, and he's going to, he does all that. Kimmel, next in the hot seat, talking about guys smoking pot to have a higher sperm count.
Contrary to what has long been thought, men who smoke cannabis have higher sperm counts. They looked at pot smokers. The sperm counts were higher when the men were higher. The study found that men who smoke marijuana have an average concentration of 63 million sperm per milliliter compared to an average of 45 million sperm for those who don't smoke. I feel bad for whoever's job it is to count those sperm, because that's... But I guess this explains why Bob Marley had so many children.
Yeah, rolling in the aisle again. And Colbert, known to you as Colbert, we talked about a jogger killing a mountain lion.
A Colorado runner was attacked by a mountain lion, but he fought back and killed the lion with his bare hands. Wow. Wow. What? I don't see how that guy could run with testicles that big.
Speaking of testicles, the guy waiting for his to drop, Seth Meyers, in the hot seat now, and talks about a mom arrested for pot gummies that her kid took to school.
A Cleveland mom was arrested this week after her child brought marijuana-infused gummy candies to school and shared them with at least 12 other students. Teachers became suspicious when the school band sounded good.
Okay, now you see why you can go to bed early. You're missing nothing late at night. That's for sure. Couple other things in the news. When Disney announced that it was starting its own streaming service, well, it was a foregone conclusion that its movies would stop hitting Netflix. And I'm not so sure this is going to work. I know that Disney's strong and it's got the pull of kids and everything. But you wonder just how many streaming services are people willing to pay for. If you got Netflix, are you going to add Disney also? Because there's plenty of children programming there on Netflix that you're not going to run out. Anyway, the purge has begun. Captain Marvel will be the first that will go to Disney instead of Netflix. Now, do you think that's going to really pull over the adults? I don't know. There's no word yet. Disney Plus doesn't even demo until April 11th. And Captain Marvel hits theaters before that on March 8th. Well, the guy that plays Captain Marvel's first-class jerk, doesn't like America anymore, wants to leave. Well, see ya.
Good morning. Enjoy the day today. It is going to be absolutely gorgeous outside. Shorts and T-shirt weather with high temperatures climbing into the upper 70s to lower 80s. Feeling like spring with partly to mostly cloudy skies. Tonight we're mostly cloudy and breezy with lows falling into the upper 50s to lower 60s. By tomorrow our cold front arrives. We're mostly cloudy and breezy with a very small chance for rain. Highs tomorrow in the upper 60s to mid 70s but falling quickly tomorrow evening. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sand Hills, 97.3 FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. President Trump calls it unlimited presidential harassment. His morning tweet referring to the latest investigation of him about to be launched by the now Democrat-controlled House Intelligence Committee.
The president says Adam Schiff, the Democratic chair of the House Intelligence Committee, is out of line by announcing these new investigations.
He has no basis to do that. He's just a political hack who's trying to build a name for himself.
The president calls it presidential harassment and claims such efforts hurt the country. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Virginia's 3 top elected officials, all Democrats, are embroiled in separate political scandals. Correspondent Mike Gracia says could put a conservative Republican in line to take the governor's job.
The 3 highest-ranking officials in the state of Virginia are all now under fire after Attorney General Mark Herring's stunning confession Wednesday to putting on blackface during a party when he was a student at the University of Virginia in 1980. The admission by Herring came as Governor Ralph Northam remains under pressure to resign over a racist photo in his 1984 medical school yearbook showing someone in blackface standing next to a person in a Ku Klux Klan hood and robe. And 42-year-old Stanford fellow Vanessa Tyson went public and said Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax sexually assaulted her in 2004.
If Northam steps down and Fairfax and Herring can take the governor's seat, next in line for the job would be the Speaker of the Virginia House, a Republican. The Milwaukee Police Department mourning the loss of one of its own. For the 3rd time in 8 months, a Milwaukee officer has been killed in the line of duty. 3 days of jury deliberations, no verdict yet in the federal trial in New York of accused Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Wall Street, Dow futures down 149 points. S&P futures off 17. More on these stories at townhall.com.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's premier home purchase lender. Today's fluctuating interest rates can leave you with unexpected higher mortgage payments. At Quicken Loans, we've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates so you can buy a home with certainty. It's called Rate Shield, and here's how it works. With Rate Shield, you can lock your interest rate while you shop for a new home. So if rates go up, you don't have to worry. And here's the best part. If rates go down, you get the lower rate. With Rate Shield, we really have you covered. Here are more reasons why you'll want to work with America's largest mortgage lender. For 9 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 5th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Rate Shield. Another way we can save you money on your mortgage. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Based on Rocket Mortgage data in comparison to public data records. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year purchase transactions. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
The U.S. military takes advantage of an Israeli missile defense system. We get the latest from the Media Line's Charles Bieblazer.
The U.S. Army announced the purchase of Iron Dome anti-missile defense batteries from Israel to fill an immediate need. The Iron Dome intercepts short-range projectiles from 4 to 70 kilometers away and will complement the U.S. military's THAAD system designed to destroy medium-range ballistic missiles. The project was jointly developed by Israeli companies and U.S.-based Raytheon. Since its first deployment in 2011, Iron Dome has intercepted roughly 85% of rockets fired towards Israeli civilian centers, saving countless lives. Washington provides Jerusalem with at least $3.8 billion in annual military aid. The value of the Iron Dome contract is estimated at nearly $400 million. I'm Charles Bieblazer, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. Southern Regional Banks BB&T and SunTrust combining an all-stock deal valued at roughly $66 billion.
The banks say the combined company will be the 6th largest U.S. bank based on assets and deposits. It'll have approximately $442 billion in assets, $301 billion in loans, and $324 billion in deposits, serving more than 10 million households. The combined company will be based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Its board and management evenly split between BB&T and SunTrust. A new name will be chosen before the deal closes in the 4th quarter.
Correspondent Jeremy House. No doubt jailers in Brownstown, Indiana were glad that a missing inmate dropped in, literally. 28-year-old man got away from officers, made his way into a crawl space above the ceiling. All it took was one wrong step. He fell through the ceiling, landing in the jail's booking area. He wouldn't give up peacefully, so they used a stun gun on him. The inmate suffered only minor injuries. More on these stories at townhall.com.
When we were young, we could always count on our parents for just about anything. And now, as they age, the time has come to count on us. Griswold Home Care refers only highly qualified caregivers for just a few hours of care to 24/7 live-in service. These caregivers are compassionate and experienced. Put your trust in Griswold Home Care.
Call me, Bob Bonville, at Griswold Home Care of Pinehurst. That's 910-420-2360. 910-420-2360. We've been keeping the heart at home since 1982.
Local ownership is becoming a rare commodity in the car business. Clark Chevrolet Cadillac in Pinehurst is and has always been a small-town family business, not just a cog in a larger dealer group. Serving our community and creating satisfied, loyal customers for over 47 years, Clark Chevrolet Cadillac is a full-service dealership specializing in sales, service, parts, and collision repair. An honest dealership, no gimmicks, just an easy way of doing business. Tell us what you're looking for, and if we don't have it in stock, we will gladly get it for you. Clark Chevrolet Cadillac is located just a half mile from Moore Regional Medical Center on Dundee Road in Pinehurst. Experience the Clark Chevrolet Cadillac difference. Your hometown GM dealership. On the web at pinehurstcadillac.com.
Well, congratulations, you got a new computer. But now comes the not-so-easy task of safely transferring all your files from your old computer to your new one. And do it in a logical way so you can find your new file. Why not let our super geek at WEEB Computer Repair do it for you? Just bring in your PCs or Macs into the WEEB studios on Midland Road and allow our super geek to extract all your files and properly place them on your new computer. WEEB Computer Repair, 690-9723, the home of the Super Geek.
Hurricanes, tornadoes, and fire. These are serious situations that we plan in advance for.
The volatility of the market can be just as devastating. When a market correction happens, there are strategies you can employ to bounce back. Call Coach Pete today and we'll help you develop your very own emergency market disaster plan. 800-661-7383, 800-661-7383, or text COACH to 21,000.
You already know about Little Dino's great subs, but did you know they make some of the very best pizza as well? But if subs are your preference, then you won't find more choices anywhere else. That's why Little Dino's motto is, more choices, more flavor. And it's true. At Little Dino's, you'll always eat fresh. But unlike some national chains, their staff isn't fresh. So get off the chain gang and come into Little Dino's for more choices, more flavor, and friendly service. Little Dino's, located in Olmsted Village Shopping Center off 211 in Pinehurst.
NCN News. I'm Mike Rayleigh. Breaking news. Southern Regional Banks, BB&T, and SunTrust are combining in an all-stock deal valued at about $66 billion. The bank said today the combined company will be the sixth largest U.S. bank based on assets and deposits. The headquarters will be in Charlotte. President Trump, during his State of the Union address, called for an end to, in his words, ridiculous partisan investigations, saying they could hurt the economy. Democrats are going ahead anyway. CBS's Nancy Cordes on Capitol Hill says there will be hearings on Capitol Hill today. And
tomorrow, they're hauling the acting attorney general, Matthew Whitaker, before Congress. Democrats even have a subpoena ready if he tries to claim executive privilege in response to some of their questions.
The number of flu deaths across North Carolina is on the rise. Flu deaths have more than doubled in the past month, and more people are getting sick. It's serious enough that school districts, including Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, are forced to keep sick kids at home. Charlotte physician Dr. Ryan Shelton tells WCNC News.
We're testing for flu. There's some much more reliable tests that we can get done quickly now.
In less than a week, a cascade of revelations and allegations involving race and sex has rocked Virginia state government. Governor Ralph Northam is facing a torrent of calls to resign over a racist photo that surfaced last week from his medical school yearbook page. Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax faces allegations of sexual assault. Now Attorney General Mark Herring says that he wore blackface in college. Virginia resident Tanika Williams says these things shouldn't have been done in the first place.
I think he should resign because he took the picture, he admitted it, and once you admit something, you can't take it back. You already said that it was you. Resign, let somebody else take office that's better fit.
The city of Greenville will have a live fire gunshot testing a system today which detects guns. You're listening to NCN News.
Where are the leaders of tomorrow shaped and molded? They're shaped on the courts, fields, mats, and tracks of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. The NCHSAA is our 417-member schools, impacting communities across the state of North Carolina. From Murphy to Manteo, the NCHSAA is coaches, administrators, and officials working tirelessly to invest in the next generation of leaders for our great state. Who are we? We are high school. We are the NCHSAA.
The Carolina Hurricanes' incredibly popular Homegrown series, as always, designed to celebrate the best North Carolina has to offer, returns on Friday, February 15th, as the Canes host the Edmonton Oilers. This time, you can indulge in a savory Brunswick stew, flights from Apex's Brewprint Brewing Company, and you can take home one of only 250 t-shirts specially designed by Glory Days Apparel. Learn more at hurricanes.com/homegrown.
Governor Roy Cooper spoke to members of Congress yesterday to urge the federal government to take action on curbing greenhouse emissions and prepare for the effects of climate change. The governor testified Wednesday before the House Committee on Natural Resources on Capitol Hill. He told members,
just like many places in our country and across the globe, we're beginning to feel the harsh effects of climate change. North Carolinians, unfortunately, know about this the hard way. We have weathered 2 so-called 500-year floods within 2 years, and 3 of them within 20 years.
A top fashion house is pulling racially insensitive clothing from its store shelves.
Gucci is apologizing, and it stopped selling a black wool sweater with a turtleneck that pulls up over your mouth. The extension has a cutout bordered with oversized red lips. Social media posts pointed out it made wearers look like they were dressed in blackface. In December, Prada discontinued a line of accessories that featured a character with brown skin and exaggerated lips. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
North Carolina officials are turning over more than 800 voter files sought by a federal investigation that last year demanded millions of records. A Florida lawmaker wants to protect patients from deadly mistakes at cosmetic surgery centers.
The proposed bill comes after 8 deaths of women who had procedures at a single surgery center near Miami, first reported by USA Today and the Naples Daily News. They included 4 so-called Brazilian butt lifts where doctors mistakenly tore veins during injections of body fat. The women died from the embolisms that followed. Doctors and the clinic were allowed to keep operating. The proposed bill includes various degrees of fines, license suspensions, and revocation. Similar bills have failed in the past, but one lawyer says the deaths and the national attention could make a difference this time. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Good morning. A partly cloudy and spring-like day is in the forecast today, with highs ranging from the upper 70s to lower 80s. We're talking T-shirt weather today. By tonight, we'll see increase in cloud cover. Lows only fall into the upper 50s to lower 60s. Increase in cloud cover tonight and windy tonight as a cold front approaches. Tomorrow, we are mostly cloudy and windy with a small chance of a sprinkle. Highs in the low 60s to mid 70s. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
Right now here in the Sand Hills area, partly cloudy, 62 degrees. Humidity maxed at 100%, dew point 62, pressure is 3009, winds south-southwest at 12. Visibility down to 9 statute miles. 8:13, let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Thursday morning. The Tyler Ridge development near the roundabout at NC 22 and Airport Road is looking to grow once again. The pilot reporting that first approved by the Southern Pines Town Council in 2011, the 46-acre site may soon include a strip shopping center. On Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, town leaders will formally consider the architectural plans for a new 14,000-square-foot mixed-use building. The same project was previously approved for an adjacent undeveloped lot on the site, but the permit expired prior to construction beginning. The newly proposed location shifts the building's footprint slightly to the northern section, closer to the roundabout. Developer Jim O'Malley first presented the plans for the strip center in May of 2015. That design included a sit-down style restaurant on one end with an outside dining patio and a drive-through restaurant with a dedicated lane on the other. No tenants have yet been announced for the new project, nor a specific timeline for construction. And a 4-year-old boy who authorities in North Carolina say showed off a loaded gun to his pre-kindergarten classmates has been suspended for the rest of the school year. News outlets cite a Mount Gilead police statement saying that a teacher confiscated the book bag that held a 9mm Smith & Wesson handgun. Officers responding to Mount Gilead Elementary School found it contained a fully loaded magazine. The weapon was turned over to the sheriff's office. Police say the investigation results will be forwarded to the juvenile court counselor. The police department says the boy didn't give a clear explanation as to why he brought the gun. Reports also indicate the boy's mother would be charged. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but stand by. Here comes all your latest in sports right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. It is 8:16.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Kemba Walker led Charlotte with 30 points and a season-high 11 rebounds, but the Hornets couldn't stop the new-look Mavericks, which kept getting a new-look makeover while last night's game was in play. Luka Doncic scored 19 points in his third triple-double. Dorian Finney-Smith had 15 points and 10 rebounds, and Dallas beat Charlotte 99-93. Tim Hardaway Jr. scored 12 points in his Mavs debut after the blockbuster deal that brought Kristaps Porzingis to Dallas from the New York Knicks. Despite the loss, Coach James Borrego spoke about where the Hornets found defensive success against Dallas.
We competed. I thought we did a pretty good job at the three-point line. They were 11 for 36 from the three. Transition was not so good. Kept them at bay at the free throw line. We got better in the paint second half. So I think we competed defensively second half, gave ourselves a chance.
Former Tar Heel Harrison Barnes scored 13 points for the Mavs, but stayed on the bench in the fourth quarter after news broke that Dallas traded him to Sacramento in exchange for another former Tar Heel, Justin Jackson, along with Zach Randolph. Other key NBA Finals last night, Kevin Durant had 23 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds, as well as 3 steals to help the Warriors in a 141-102 slaughtering of the San Antonio Spurs. After the win, Durant expressed frustration with all the talk about where he might play next season. James Harden made 8 three-pointers and scored 36 to help Houston beat Sacramento 125 college hoops last night. Number 6 Nevada beat Colorado State. 14th ranked Villanova needed overtime to get past Creighton, and Wisconsin, they topped Minnesota 56-51. 21st ranked LSU also needed overtime to get past Mississippi State, while number 24 Maryland beat Nebraska. A couple North Carolina college programs in play. Davidson won its 5th straight, beating Rhode Island 68-53. They remain first overall in the Atlantic 10. Wichita State, they were in Greenville last night. They beat ECU 65-49. This is NCN Sports.
State lawmakers are cranking up a new legislative session. Everything's on the table. The budget, education, transportation, regulation. What are they doing, and how is it affecting you, your family, your business, your wallet? Carolina Journal helps you find answers. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
Ready, set, fish. On May 4th in Morehead City, anglers of all ages will cast their lines for a great cause in the 11th annual Reelin' for Research Fishing Tournament, benefiting UNC Children's Hospital and Pediatric Cancer Research. Reelin' for Research has raised $3 million to date, and we're setting the bar high for 2019. There are plenty of offshore and inshore activities that help our mission, so the whole family can join. To learn more about Reelin' for Research or to donate, please visit reelinforresearch.org. Help us land a cure for childhood cancer.
Major League Baseball and its players are discussing bold changes to spark the sport. They include a 3-batter minimum for a pitching change, except at the start of an inning, a single trade deadline set before the All-Star break, and expanded rosters. The union is renewing its push to extend the designated hitter to the National League, and management is proposing expanding minimum time on the disabled list. Lindsey Vonn is sitting out downhill training again 2 days after her crash in the Super G at the World Championships. Vonn got the wind knocked out of her, hitting the safety nets, and was left with bruises on her face and a puffy right eye. A spokesperson for the athlete told the AP she's good but resting. Tickets now on sale for the Duke football team's season opener against Alabama. The two teams will go head-to-head in Atlanta in the Chick-fil-A kickoff game on August 31st. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
American playboy Bernard Laurent is living in Paris with his fiancée Gloria, and Gretchen, and Gabriella. All 3 women are airline stewardesses who are only home every 3 days. And of course, none of them know about the others. So hilarity ensues in Temple Theater's latest comedy, Boeing Boeing, on stage February 14th through March 3rd. Unfortunately for Bernard, his perfect setup of being happily engaged to 3 different women is bound to run into trouble at some point. Things begin to unravel when there is a change to the women's flight orders, making it increasingly difficult to keep them apart, and eventually bringing all 3 of them home on the same day. Don't miss Boeing Boeing, on stage February 14th through March 3rd. Tickets are $27 and available by calling the Temple box office at 919-774-4155 or online at templeshows.com. That's 919-774-4155 or online at templeshows.com. Sponsored by First Bank and the Edward Jones Investment Offices of Brian Mathis, Dargan Moore, and James Mitchell.
If you're like most folks, you love your home. You love your neighborhood and those that live around you. But when you go inside your home, you see that it is in need of a massive updating, especially those bathrooms, kitchen, and great room. You know that these areas need upgrading, but you also know what a task it is to do it yourself. Hi, I'm Steve Leader Adams, and I've built over 2,000 homes, and I and my partner Larry Postlewaite have over 70 years of construction experience and have our own remodeling business called Relive It Remodeling. We also pride ourselves on making remodeling jobs an easy and enjoyable process for our clients. We look after everything from permits to the last paint stroke. We also show up when we promise and stay until completion. And we also recycle any materials through the Wounded Warrior program. And here's one more promise. Nobody, and I mean nobody, does better quality work than we do. For your next renovation job, give me a call right here at WEEB at 692-7440 or check us out on the web at reliveitremodeling.com.
American playboy Bernard Laurent is living in Paris with his fiancée Gloria, and Gretchen, and Gabriella. All three women are airline stewardesses who are only home every 3 days. And of course, none of them know about the others. So hilarity ensues in Temple Theater's latest comedy, Boeing Boeing, on stage February 14th through March 3rd. Unfortunately for Bernard, his perfect setup of being happily engaged to 3 different women is bound to run into trouble at some point. Things begin to unravel when there is a change to the women's flight orders, making it increasingly difficult to keep them apart, and eventually bringing all 3 of them home on the same day. Don't miss Boeing Boeing on stage February 14th through March 3rd. Tickets are $27 and available by calling the Temple box office at 919-774-4155 or online at templeshows.com. That's 919-774-4155 or online at templeshows.com. Sponsored by First Bank and the Edward Jones Investment Offices of Brian Mathis, Dargan Moore, and James Mitchell.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. If you're a guy and your wife or girlfriend or whatever comes out and asks you, honey, how do I look in these pants? You have 2 choices. You can say, oh, my dear, I'm about to pass out. I have never, ever seen you or anyone on this earth look so amazingly good. Or you can cut out the middleman altogether, run out of the house, get in your car, drive as far away as possible. When you're comfortable, find a place to buy some flowers and some chocolate. Then drive home, tell her how sorry you are for what she knows you meant, and just take your punishment. Either way, you're in trouble. At least the second way cuts out a day or 2 of silence. Now, just in case you think this is sexist, and some folks will, keep listening. Ladies, when the guy comes out with no shirt on and looks like he is in the swimsuit competition for Miss Armenian Grandma, tell him the following. Dear, you look like that guy who played Tarzan in that last movie. You want to know the difference? Well, he'll believe you. He'll believe you because he wants to believe you. It's a lot easier than going to the gym. Some of you may know where I'm going with this. In the world of politics, don't believe every single thing you're told. You may look like Tarzan, but I doubt it. And you may look great in those pants, for real. But you've got to be the one who decides. You have a mirror, just like I do, unfortunately, in the Zumwalt Zone.
Good morning. Enjoy the day today. It is going to be absolutely gorgeous outside. Shorts and T-shirt weather with high temperatures climbing into the upper 70s to lower 80s. Feeling like spring with partly to mostly cloudy skies. Tonight we're mostly cloudy and breezy with lows falling into the upper 50s to lower 60s. By tomorrow our cold front arrives. We're mostly cloudy and breezy with a very small chance for rain. Highs tomorrow in the upper 60s to mid 70s but falling quickly tomorrow evening. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the Leader Man. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
You don't know what day it is, do you?
I told you, it's Thursday.
It's Thursday. It's more than just another Thursday. What's up with your hair? What's with your hair?
What's wrong with your hair?
This is the worst bad hair day ever.
Now, that's what I call a bad hair day. Okay, well... Grab your brush. Brush your hair. Let's go. Let's go. Showtime.
Music is a world within itself. With a language we all understand. With an equal opportunity for all to sing, dance, and clap their hands.
Hey, you're going to forgive me. My aim with that cursor is getting harder.
But you can tell right away.
You clicked the wrong thing first. Anyway, good morning. Welcome back to the Hour 2 of Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Leader Adams. And don't forget, of course, this program being heard and seen around the world on the live video stream. That's available to you Absolutely free right there on our website at talk973.com. The top middle of the page is where the link's located. If you're on your mobile device, you can get it with the YouTube app. Mornings with the Leader Man. Leader Man, all one word, spelled like it sounds. And we should appear at the top of your results. And it'll say live now. You tap that and you're on your way. If you're on your mobile device just needing our audio, our crystal clear digital audio stream that's available to you 24/7, well, you can get that with any streaming service like TuneIn, iTunes, StreamOn, just to name a few. You put WEEB into the search, and when we appear at the top, there you go. Click on that, and you're listening. Might want to save it to your favorites file. That way you'll won't have to search the next time. And then, if you need it from the website, well, you can get it always there, 24/7, 365, upper right-hand corner of every page at talk973.com. Has an icon that says Listen Live. Tap it once, and you are listening that quick. Summer-like weather continues today. Yeah, man, you're going to be sweating. Mostly sunny today. High of 81. Who knew you'd be doing a hard sweat in the middle of winter? I've been here all my life in North Carolina. Originally from Raleigh, but been here for 30 years. Southern Pines area, and I don't recall 80s. I think maybe once or twice we may have hit them, obviously, but it's a rare event, especially in the middle of winter. I mean, usually right now is when we have our worst of the worst. Late January, 1st of February. And, that's when we get our biggest snowstorms and our coldest weather. And as we get toward the latter part of February, it starts easing off. That's when we get into the 40s and 50s. And we drag through the 50s and 60s during March. And 60s, 70s during April. And you don't get 80s until you get to June. And this is what? 7th of February? Come on. Here's what it is, as they say. Clear tonight, a low of 62. 62 for a low. Didn't have to cut the heat on all last night. Friday, partly cloudy with a high of 70. The temperatures will be dropping during the afternoon, and that will lead us right on down to a low temperature Friday night of 34 with a wind chill of 29. And Saturday, more seasonable, partly cloudy, high of 49. You will see some sun. Partly cloudy Saturday night, a low of 40. So not a big temperature swing there. And that means the next warming trend starts. Sunday, partly cloudy with a high of 51. And Monday, 56. Tuesday, we're back in the 60s for next week. Right now around the Sandhills, let's see. We got winds from the south-southwest at 12 miles an hour. Visibility still at 9 miles. Pressure 3009, 2.62. Humidity max at 100%. Partly cloudy, 62 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 8:30, 30 past the hour. Let's look at, things we need to know today so we do not sound stupid. A new possible title for Star Wars 9 just hit the internet, and it sounds like it's a popular choice. It's called Balance of the Force. Beto O'Rourke says he will decide by the end of the month if he's going to run for president. He's a heck of a fundraiser. He might be a contender. Because, let's face it, you got to have a good stash of money to get anywhere. You got to be flooding those boxes in Iowa with, the mailing cards. And I see Dan Forrest has already started stuffing our boxes here. Our lieutenant governor, and a pre-election quest to become governor. He's a sharp, capable fellow, and he's well-funded. Thus, he can start campaigning now with those expensive mailers. Because those mailers will cost anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 per county. And he's running for a statewide office. So you do the math. That'd be $300,000. Boom, for one little mailer. Saw a lot of them in the trash can at the post office, including mine. Jennifer Lawrence is now an engaged woman. She says yes to. She said yes to art gallery director Cook Maroney. NBC has decided to cancel the live musical Hair, which was originally scheduled to air May 19th, after Fox's Rent hit record lows. The network says it will still consider broadcasting live musicals in the future. President Trump, does anybody want to see a musical? Really? I know there have been some movies, and people have gone to them, and the Academy Award pen likes them because, it shows that we have culture. But really, who wants the plot line sung to me? I don't. President Trump's State of the Union speech went 82 minutes long, the longest State of the Union speech since Bill Clinton in 2000. Still trying to figure out why Melania Trump was only wearing one glove. Because that's what the fashion designer said. A new electric Harley Davidson won't require having a motorcycle license. Is that going to be another moped in front of us? Moped-like, except the one runs on electricity? Come on. They need to do something about those mopeds anyway. They really do. They can only do 30 miles an hour, and they ought to be held to streets of 35 and lower and not allow them on 45, 55. Let's see them out there on US 1 many times. A new poll says 6 in 7 Americans are satisfied with their personal lives. Modern Family has one more season left in them. Everyone's going to be back for the fall for an 11th and final season. It only ran 11 seasons too long. And Susan Lucci says she was a heart attack waiting to happen and had 90% blockage when she went to have 2 stents implanted last October. That's a good thing she went. Today's impossible question, 24% of Americans never use this very common product that most people use daily. What is it? 24% of Americans never use this very common product that most people use daily. If you guessed perfume or cologne, you would be right. From our Did You Know category, according to a new survey, 1 in 4 women have worn the same dress as someone else while attending a wedding. Oh, no. She has the same thing on that I have. Approximately 1 in 5 men refer to their wives as the boss when talking to other guys. Hey, you want to go out this weekend? Well, I don't know. I have to check with the boss. Over 175 million Girl Scout cookies are sold in the U.S. each year. 32% of people have lied to get out of a wedding. You know, I'm not sure anybody really enjoys weddings. Some people might, or funerals. But to the family, they know who attended both. And if you want to be in good standing with them and show them respect, show up, whether you like it or not. Every time you hit the space bar on your computer, an average of about 600,000 other people around the world just did it too. So you're in sync with over 500,000 people every time you pop that space bar. Over half the people who have a sunroof never use it. Well, if you live in North Carolina, you're one of those. I mean, I got 2 of them in that Explorer. That's the one feature. If I had to give up a feature, that'd be it. Because who wants them open when that hot weather's around, that muggy weather's around, and when it's not around, it's too cold for it. There are a few days you could open them up and maybe enjoy them, but then when you get out, you got to close them back and secure the car. You know how it works. Over half the people who have I did that. All right, the number of American adults that have been married more than once has doubled since 1980. Wow. The world is catching up to me. Okay. Not proud of it. It's just fact. All right, rim shot time this morning. I got something outside my studio, outside the building, scratching on the building. And I suspect it's a bird building a nest somewhere. or trying to, and I said, not making the woodpecker sound, so it's, it's either that or a squirrel chewing. And I banged on the wall and everything else. I went out there during the break and looked, didn't see anything. Make a little tougher inspection here when I get off the air. See if I can find that sucker. All right, rim shot time. Before we do rim shots, got a lifestyle segment here. This is to help improve your life, just like it sounds. This is, whether you're on a date, a job interview, or just talking to friends, they say you're supposed to make eye contact to show that you're interested in what they're saying, which you probably are. But if looking in people's eyes make you nervous or feels like you're in a who's going to blink first contest, here's an easy trick. Just stare at their mouths, nose, or forehead instead. I tend to look at the mouth because that way if I can't quite hear the word or didn't hear correctly, the mouth movements, as you kind of read the lips as they say it, might help you out. Study in the journal Perception found people can't really tell if you're looking them in the eye or not as long as you're looking at something close to their eyes. Researchers had 4-minute conversations with about 50 different people and used special glasses to track eye movement. Now, of course, in this experiment, it was fully funded by your taxpayer dollars. And a big study ahead of it was done, and submitted to government for funding for this wonderful study that I could have told you for free. And they get funded, and then they go do their experiment to fulfill their contract with the government so they can get the rest of your money. Anyway, in half the conversations, they looked people square in the eye. For the other half, they stared at another spot, like the mouth or chin. And it turns out we can't really tell the difference. Both groups thought they were making eye contact, even when the researchers were staring at one of their ears the whole time. They also rated the conversation as equally enjoyable, no matter what. So if you're more comfortable staring at someone's nose while you're talking to them, go for it. The only time it might not work is if you're up close, like a foot away. They can probably tell. But really, except with a partner or a loved one or something like that, do you talk to somebody a foot away? I want a little more speaking room, please. Thank you. All right, now we're ready for rim shots this morning. Pink received a Walk of Fame star. It's at the corner of Hollywood Boulevard and Gary Busey sleeping. It's official. The Oscars will be hostless. Now, if only it could be actorless, directorless, awardless, TV-less, the world would be a much better place, wouldn't it? Why do we need all these shows so Hollywood can pat themselves on the back and tear down the country because what little peon thought they have in their head they think so important? Chris Rock turns 54 today. How long has Chris been doing stand-up? Oh, Kevin Hart remembers watching him when he was little. Is that a bad example? I'm not sure. There is now a theory that James Brown was murdered. So maybe Liam Neeson followed through on his threat after all. We'll get into that shortly. The red carpet for Liam Neeson's upcoming movie has been canceled. In response, Neeson said he wants to beat up a red carpet. Jay-Z hired a top attorney to help 21 Savage get released from ICE custody. But still, if you don't know who 21 Savage is, it turns out he's from Great Britain. He's not an American. Just here to tell us how to run America. You know how it is. Anyway, his visa ran out years ago. He's overstayed his visa. And he got arrested. You're a Brit. You're going back. But anyway, got released from ICE custody, but there is no sign of He's hired an attorney to help him get released from ICE custody, but still no sign of public support from 21's brother, Fred. Michael Bolton fell asleep during a TV interview, though, to be fair, falling asleep is the only acceptable response when someone starts discussing Michael Bolton. A San Jose theater is offering virtual reality movies. It's so realistic that if you're an African American, you can actually feel Liam Neeson hitting you. And Valentine's Day, this Valentine's Day, Hooters will offer single people free wings. And as usual, false hope. You know, that's when you say to your buddy, dude, you see the way she touched my arm when she took my order? I know she wants a big tip, but I think there's more to that. Yeah, keep thinking, my friend. All right, that's your rim shots for today. It is 8:41, 41 past the hour. Talking about that Liam Neeson deal. Liam was on TV. I believe it was which show was it? I think it was Tonight Show, or it was some show he was being interviewed on. And he's in trouble for saying what he said, which is this is the actual comments on the show.
I'll tell you a story. This is true. But I was away and I came back and she told me she had been raped. But she handled the situation of the rape in the most extraordinary way. But my immediate reaction was, I asked, did she know who it was? No. What color were they? She said it was a black person. I went up and down areas with a cosh, hoping I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that. And I did it for maybe a week, hoping some black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, you know, so that I could kill him. It took me a week, maybe a week and a half to kind of go for that. And it was horrible when I think back, but I did that. And I've never admitted that to it. I'm saying it to a journalist. It's awful. And I understand that need for revenge, but it just leads to more revenge and more killing, and, you know.
Anyway, in post-interviews from that, he said that he has sought counseling and he's gone power walking to help rid himself of the feelings. But fortunately for us, we have Liam Neeson on the phone with us this morning. Thank you for letting me, for coming on the show here,
Thank you for letting me come on your show to clear up some misconceptions about what I may have said in the last 48 hours.
All right, well, Liam, after that soundbite went around, the world blew up. What did you say to yourself when that happened, Liam?
Well, I'll tell you a story, and this is true. I knew I was in trouble, so I immediately went looking for a spiritual advisor to give me some guidance. Someone from the African-American community. I must have searched for 4, maybe even 5 hours, all the time thinking to myself, if I could just get my hands on one of those black pastors, maybe he can help me find a solution.
So what now?
I've never told anyone that story before.
So what now? You have been making the rounds on TV.
You know, I'll tell you a story. I've never told anyone this story before. My wife has a honey-do list. And for 2 years, 2 long years, she's asked me to bring home some ebony wheels for our dining room chairs. So I know it would mean the world to her if I could just get my hands on those black casters. You know, I've never told anyone that before.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on this morning, Liam. 7, let's make it 8:45. 45 past the hour. And it's that time once again, my friends, to go after the bad guys.
My pretty, and your little dog, too.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits.
All right, come on, Windows, let's play a little radio with us. Yeah, wait for Al Gore's wonderful internet to wake up this morning. And give me what I asked for. As we now proudly strut across the floor. In the style of the Duke, John Wayne, as only he can strut that floor with style. Open up our closet doors. Look at all 30 Liberty safes. Going over here to safe number 20 this morning. And open that bad boy up. I'm going to reach in and grab one of my favorites. I call it the Surgeon Gun Smith & Wesson 22A. Bullet goes in, cuts you up like a surgeon. And you can get 10 in there in a matter of about a second and a half. Throw that into the holster, put on our badge, grab 5 cans of some whoop ass as we now head out the door. In relentless pursuit of stupid criminal news. Stupid criminal news number 1 this morning. If you've ever played bingo with old folks, you know they don't mess around. So frankly, I'm surprised stuff like this doesn't happen more often. The police in Ridgeloo Lakes, Ontario, Canada got a call Tuesday afternoon from a nursing home because, you guessed it, of a bingo brawl. Apparently a 79-year-old woman and an 86-year-old woman got into a fight. And you guessed it, it was over bingo. The fight started because one of the women took someone else's regular seat. Hey, you took my lucky seat. Then, once it got physical, more people joined into the fight. To be young again. Take that! Now, the police were able to break it all up. Fortunately, no one seriously hurt. Huge bruised egos. And a couple of sore hips. Anyway, the police found up not filing charges. Good judgment on the police department. A rarity. Stupid criminal news number 2. Here's how insanely important our phones are now. 33-year-old restaurant manager in St. Louis named Jonathan Newcomb got carjacked on Monday. Now get this now, while he was sitting in his car on his break Monday night, the carjacker walked up with a gun and told him to get out. Not wanting to argue with the gun, he did. Then he tried some reason with the guy and told him it wasn't worth it. You don't need to do this. And the guy responded by trying to shoot him in the leg. But the gun jammed. Yeah, robbers only carry the best in quality of guns. At that point, Jonathan decided to throw his keys on the roof of the restaurant because he knew he could go up there and get them later, which was pretty clever. But unfortunately, he didn't throw them far enough. They ended up on the ground next to the building, and the carjacker grabbed them. But while he was rushing over, he dropped his phone, and Jonathan grabbed it. Then they started negotiating. Oh, you want your phone back, do you? Police probably could have used the phone to ID the guy. It's not clear if he realized that or not. But he did his own negotiation, and he agreed to trade the car for the phone. The thief went for it. He grabbed the phone and ran off. And the police are still looking for him. But the guy got his car back. And that, my friends, is your stupid criminal news for this Thursday. All righty. Yeah, it's best just to let him have him go. You know, the guy did try to shoot him now. The gun jammed. And that's the thing about stupid criminals. They don't go out to the gun range and keep the gun in good working order and practice and make sure it's working. Because I got when I got my carry conceal permit, I needed I had a Smith & Wesson, but it was really too big for carry conceal. You know, I could put it on my pants leg, but it still was clunky and bulky. So you need one small enough to carry conceal. And I got it. And got the bullets for it. And put it in the pocket. And I called my friend who has a gun range, and we went out there to his gun range. And he's a certified instructor also. And just wanted to test the gun and get a feel for it, because didn't want crisis to be the first time I ever pulled that trigger on it. So I knew what to expect. And I pulled that trigger and it went, didn't fire. First thing it did was jam. I went, well, this is a pretty expensive one. It's not some Saturday night special junk. And the instructor looked at it and said, these type bullets tend to jam. And I said, well, the guy at the gun store said this was the perfect bullet for this gun, which is a .380, not a big one. And he said, hang on. He went back in his house and brought out a different box of .380s. Put them in, boom, 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 boom. Everyone fired off perfect. So, yeah, it's a good thing to test if you've got your carry concealed, got your gun, but you've never used it, it's all clean and everything, go to a gun range and practice with it. Make sure it's not going to jam, because at the moment you might need it. Of course, that's the last thing you need is a jammed gun. I don't think any of us get out there as often as we should in practice, but, a couple, 2 or 3 times a year you need to go, and just to keep the edges from getting rusty. All right, let's see. What are we going to do next? All right, well, I don't know. You want to raise your hands and put your fingers in the air, stretch them out as called for the facts.
And now it's time for
Random facts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, random facts for today, and maybe a spare. There are only 2 songs that spent at least 10 weeks at number 2 on the Billboard charts without ever making it to number 1. Could you guess them? One of them was Foreigners, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Snore, and Missy Elliott's Work It. The hundreds of Jonestown cult members who killed themselves in 1978. Remember that? What was down in Guyana? Is that where it was? Jim Jones stuff? He said, come on over, and they drank the Kool-Aid. Didn't actually drink poison Kool-Aid. They drank poison-flavored Aid, which is a cheap knockoff of Kool-Aid. Man, they wouldn't even give them the good stuff to kill them with. Seattle was originally called New York. When people settled there in 1851, that's what they named it. But they quickly changed the name to Seattle after a Native American chief who helped them out. Before MC Hammer became famous, he started a Christian rap group called the Holy Ghost Boys. But he left them to go solo. Hammer time. And only 4 presidents have had a name that wasn't in the top 1,000 baby names the year they ran. Those included Adlai Stevenson in 1952 and 1956, Barack Obama in 2008 and 12, and Willard Mitt Romney in 2012, and Hillary Clinton in 2016. And that's your random facts for today. Okay, Valentine's Day coming up. Got to give you some help here. If you've had to grade the level of effort your partner puts into Valentine's Day, would you pass or fail? Only 15% of people in the new survey gave their partner an A, 6% a B, 10% a C, 11% a D, and a whopping 58% gave them a flat-out F. A lot of those people must be doing nothing, though, because the top thing they want for Valentine's Day are not that outrageous. Here are the top 10. At number 10, tickets to a comedy show, 26%. Number 9, a night or two at a local hotel, 30%. A spa package, 31%. A trip to somewhere warm and exotic, 31%. Number 6, jewelry. What woman doesn't like jewelry? As long as it's nice and expensive. Number 5, a home-cooked meal, 39% like that. And number 4, a massage. Really, just, guy warming you up for what he wants. Anyway, 46%. Number 3, flowers. They still like flowers. Number 2, chocolate. Really? That's what women want. And number 1, this I can believe, a nice dinner out, 58%. Now, we had a survey a couple of weeks ago, and it was saying the number 1 thing that the person wanted was a nice Valentine's Day card, heartfelt card. And are you expecting the best sex of the year on Valentine's Day? And yes, it counts if your best sex of the year, if it's the only sex you get all year. According to a new survey, 58% of people say they have better sex that day than any other day of the year. Why is it good? 85% say they try harder in bed on Valentine's Day. 54% say their significant other is more generous. And 52%, we'll let you define generous. And 52% say things will be more intimate than usual. We'll let you define that also. Don't really have time for much of anything else. So I'll save them for tomorrow. More Valentine help. So we'll get you all prepared for next week, because Valentine's Day is 1 week from today. Next Thursday. So it goes for this Thursday. Have yourself a great, safe day. I'll see you back bright and early tomorrow for a TSIF Thanksgiving Friday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airwaves, because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs for all of us. When you head off to the mega stores, well, your money's out of our economy. It goes to Sri Lanka, Indonesia, China, all those places. 68% stay here when you shop local. And don't forget, millions of Americans have fought and have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams, and the Leader Man and Nick and Colt the Dog will see you at the hot, blistering dog park today at 2 p.m.